takes time to go live. Live.
We are live. How are we doing, boys and girls, guys and girls? Dun, dun, dun. Bear with me. Oh, it sounded like something come from Russ's end then, and he's gone. He's left the building. Fair strange. Oh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting myself in all a pickle. There we go. How are we doing? I hope we're all well. If there's anyone in yet. Right, let's take me. There we go. Blimey, it's come straight up this week. Unbelievable. Mickey's watching. Mickey, Davey. Hope the weather's better in Spain than it is here, mate. Awful. I think we've had a full 5 days of sun this summer. Rain on and off all day as well. I think it's meant to be getting nice next week though. Fingers crossed. Or in a couple of weeks. I'll go away in a couple of weeks. Please be nice. Don't want the rain.
But it hasn't been cold as can be.
No, the temperature's dropped a little bit, but it's still sort of t-shirt weather, isn't it? Always remembered the banner.
I have remembered. I only just remembered the banner. Right, are we ready? Let's. Oh, where's that gone? Oh no! Got to let me put that in. Yes. Right, are we ready?
Go, go, go.
Got anyone in the comments yet?
It's now time for you to sit back in your chair and relax. Let your mind wander to the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. Let Ross take you on a journey to the unexplained.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday, the 25th of July. It's that time of night when we delve deep into the unexplained with myself, Russell, and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Paranormal Paul.
Good evening. How are we doing? You scared the life out of me then. I didn't expect you to shout so loud.
Did I shout? I don't know.
I'm going to have my volume up too loud.
Welcome everybody to a journey through the unexplained. We are live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio. We are over also on Facebook and YouTube, so if you want to join us in for the ride, you can head over to there as well. I must admit I was running a little bit behind time, so I can't 100% sure I say Philip was on air this evening, but if Philip was on air, thank you, but if he wasn't, I'm hoping everything is all right, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks time, hopefully. It's that time of week. It is that time of week where we delve into the most randomest comments and questions. I've got a bit of feedback, so I'm just going to turn that down a little bit because I think it's me rather than anything else. And we will start with our show. As we start every week, I ask the same question. Mr. Paranormal Paul, how have you been?
Do you know what, Russ? I've been a bit weird this week, mate. I'll be honest. I know usually I say, no, it's not too bad. Yeah, I haven't felt quite right. And I noticed it's not just me. A few of the lads at work haven't felt quite right. My wife has not felt quite right. I couldn't put it down to anything. Just very lethargic. My feet are aching like I couldn't during work. Not sleeping great. And when I do sleep, I have some very strange dreams. I know we sort of had a bit of a chat about that the other day.
I think we can put this into the show as well, them dreams as well.
Yeah. But But no, it's like the more the day goes on, the better I feel and more normal I feel. I seem to struggle to get going in the mornings, and of an evenings, I feel like I have been working hard this month. I must admit, a lot busier than most months, but I feel like I've worked all day as well by the end of the day. There's something in the air. It's just taking every bit of energy out of me.
I can sort of, as I say, I can sort of, not necessarily, I won't say it's not agreement. It is agreeing with you, but I have to sort of go along them same lines a little bit, and saying but I go the opposite way around. It sort of, it gets to the afternoon, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can deal with this. This is hard work. This is, some days I haven't really done a lot. Some days I have. I do have, the odd medical condition, which I can put it down to. But yeah, I can. Yeah, I can say, I'm not saying there's something in the air. I know there's a lot of bugs going around, especially for sort of June and July. Very odd.
I don't feel like I've got anything though, Russ, or anything like that. I feel it's just, I don't know. I'm just really struggling to keep going at the moment.
But it is that time of year, though. It is that time of year. I think we lead up to, especially sort of like, obviously in the UK, you leading up to the sort of the 6 weeks holiday sort of period within the UK. I do think it is. I know it doesn't really mean anything for the likes of you and me, but I do think we get caught up in that. We do notice that, I suppose you've noticed it a little bit this week. The traffic is obviously dying down.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
But it was a bit painful getting home. I must admit, it was a bit painful getting home from work last night, with obviously the M25 being shut and everything else. It just gridlocked everywhere, didn't it, last night?
I must have just missed that.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. So I left work at 4:30 yesterday, and I think I got in around about 20 to 7.
Oh, no, I must have just missed that then.
Might be about 6:30, maybe. Yeah, and it took me, and the biggest bit was from all the way, it was from Ferry Lane to the M25. It was just gridlocked. Mickey said her daughter's just joined on Pulse Talk Radio. Welcome along. Yeah, it was nice to have another listener. Welcome everybody. That's what we like to say on this show. But yeah, I can safely say I'm sort of in the same boat here. I think
the weather, with the weather, it's very muggy as well. I think that drains you quite a bit, and it's been really hot through the night.
It hasn't, to be fair, it feels like it's just been 20 degrees, a continuous.
Yeah.
I know you get in the car in the morning, it says 14, and you think, I'm still in a t-shirt. There's no way this is 14, because 14 is a little bit chilly. It's not cold. It's not what I'm saying. But sometimes early morning 14 degrees is different. Yeah. And I would normally go out with like a sweatshirt on. Not a jacket, but just a sweatshirt on. When I get to work, it'd be off. But the last couple of days, it's like, that's hot. There's no way that's 14. And I've got the aircon on in the car going to work. It's like, it's 14 degrees. Just have the window open, but it don't feel cold.
No, I know exactly what you're saying there, mate.
So, yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But I say, something in the air, something in the water, how they say it. Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? I need 14 degrees, laugh at that. Go then, rub it in, Mickey. Rub it in. What is it over there? What is it? 38, 30,
I'll bet you got aircon in every room, though. Come on, be honest.
But I must admit, I looked at, I say I'm heading over to 39. I must admit, I looked at the weather because I'm heading to Agadir in a week's time. And yesterday, the weather was up at 43 degrees in Agadir. And I'm like, oh, that's going to burn me. I'm not great with heat. I'll go nice and brown. Don't get me wrong, but I shall cook like a sausage on a barbecue very quickly in that sort of heat.
It don't seem to. I don't know. As much as it can get really hot when we went to Turkey, that was like sort of 40, 45s. But I feel hotter when it's 30 here than I do when it's 40, 45 in Turkey. It is a completely different heat, isn't it?
As is the humidity, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Humidity in this country, massive. So, but Mickey, enjoy your 39. To be fair, I'm quite enjoying the you know, I think my car was saying 20, 22, 23. I can live with that. I think that's workable.
Yeah, when you're working, especially.
Maz is saying was so hot in Spain at the weekend too. Mickey, he said he hates it, but he's got. I bet you've got aircon. I bet you've got aircon somewhere, Mickey, lying around. I'm quite lucky I got aircon here, but no, I can't lie. I left it on the other night. Woke up in the middle like freezing. I was shivering. I was everything had disappeared. It really was. Quickly get that duvet back on. Warm up. Cold indoors with the aircon. That's what you like, though. That's what it's all about. So we've got a couple of little things. We've got a couple of dreams that we're going to talk about. I think it all plays a big picture, to be fair. I think the dreams are linked somehow, which was Kim says in full kit, it sucks. I don't blame you in that, Kim. I really don't. But I do think the dreams are all playing a massive part in what is going on. I think it's playing on your subconscious as well as actually giving us an insight to what is actually going on. So obviously last week we did a whole show on the Trump-Biden situation, and obviously this week, not to say we predicted it, but we sort of knew it was coming. We sort of had inklings, and you know the Democratic Party in the States were making their voices heard that he had to step down. On Sunday, we got the official news that he was to step down in the running. He's not stepping down as president, but the running for the November election. And we found out in the last few days in the UK that it'll be Kamala Harris that is taking the front seat for the Democratic Party, even though she hasn't been officially endorsed because they haven't had their, what they call it, soiree unveiling like President Trump did a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? When he did his Republican Party, whatever it was.
Yeah. I just see something funny enough about that they were talking about in America. I think it's the DCD or something like that.
Yeah.
So apparently he was supposed to go through them because all the funds and all the contributions and donations for the Biden campaign, they're meant to be put into the DCD. I think I've got that wrong. It's something like that. You can't just automatically shift that fund from one person to another because it's a completely different nominee. So they're saying they could get sued for that, you know, because it won't happen before the election.
But it was almost pennies, though, wasn't it?
It's always millions.
No, because if they look at the actual terminology they were using, I watched the same video. The terminology is right. It was, but he only had something like 1.6 million of Democratic gifts prior to him stepping down, and then the floodgates opened.
Yeah, I know she was. Yeah.
She got a hell of a lot of backing very quickly. It was the fastest ever, whatever you call it, you know, donation. You know, within 24 hours, it had broke something like 90 odd million, didn't it, through donations for the campaign? Which, you know, do I find that odd? No, I don't find that odd because I don't think they were holding back for that. Whoever it was, I think it could have been her it could have been whoever it would be. I think that would have had the same impact of whatever happened. Interesting, though, very interesting. What I find is that how the polling has changed in the States since.
It depends where you look as well, because I'm seeing different numbers everywhere you look.
But I have looked and up and down. They're very, very similar throughout the. But obviously, like when Biden was there, the roughly was a 6-point swing, give or take. 7s to 8s. That Trump was to win this, which is quite a superior difference against Biden.
Yeah.
Which I think doesn't matter how you look at it. I don't think anyone could argue that fact.
No, oh God, no.
I don't think you could argue the fact that President Biden could give a good account of the Democratic Party and a good account of himself to lead the country for the next 4 years. I don't think he did himself any favors. So going up against someone that, is quite hardy and stern, I get the 6-point to 7-point swing. I get that. But it's very interesting to see how much that gap has changed, even though it's still in favor of Donald Trump. That's close to 2 to 3 points in a space of a week. So I do feel that we've got a very, very interesting run-in coming up.
100%.
Because something that was so clear-cut a week ago, I don't think...
This is why they've done what they've done, isn't it? Let's be honest. They didn't have a choice. And I think whoever they would have put in as a nominee, you would have seen them similar figures.
I think so. I do think so. But there is still, she hasn't been officially nominated by her party because we haven't had that soiree, whatever it is, thing. And it's very interesting because I just thought it's, we've had the Republican, we've had Donald Trump being obviously the Republican nomination. We've had all the big wigs, we say big wigs, it's very indifferent, isn't it? We look at the Republican Party, we have people like Hulk Hogan endorsing him, Linda McMahon endorsing him, and you think, okay, it felt, compared to the people that endorse the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris, there's a big difference. Not to say that makes any sway or leeway, but you get some big names, don't you? All of a sudden, pop their head out, and you think, you just think you can understand how this becomes theatre.
Oh God, yeah.
You can understand where them votes go, especially to young people. When you get people like Beyonce Knowles saying, "Yeah, we're going to have I'm going to endorse you, and you can use my song." That has a massive. That's as you like, it has that the point system swing. It does. It must do.
Oh, of course, it does.
It's different for us, me and you, and I think our generation of like when you see Hulk Hogan stand on the stage, it's nostalgic. Brilliant. It is. Brilliant. It's nostalgic for us. But if I showed you sort of 14 to 10-year-olds to that, they'd go, "Who the Christ is that?"
Yeah. What's the matter with him? Why is he speaking like that?
Exactly.
He's just ripped his shirt off.
Exactly. So, and this is, now you can see like how this fits and how it works, if that makes sense. I think it works more clearly. It's sometimes I look at it like the other day.
Circus, isn't it? It's a circus.
But what are these people, what are the Americans actually voting for here? That's what was going through my mind at this point, because I didn't see, you don't see young people backing Trump to what you do. And I have to say it how I see it. And I see it's at the moment, we've got officially Donald Trump, but we haven't got an official 100% nomination of who the Democratic Party is. But we all know who it is, just like we all knew that President Biden was going to step down. And it doesn't matter, who, as you said, it doesn't matter who is there leading that party, that it's the people that are endorsing that person has bigger sway
than the person themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with you there.
That is, it's a marketing ploy. And
well, it's all propaganda at the end of the day, isn't it? You know what I mean? They're all, you knew whoever they were going to put in for the Democrat pot, they were going to go all guns blazing. You know, on all the media channels, you know, come on, yes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It was just going to go mental.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy. The last week has been crazy. And my TikTok has virtually done a whole 360. A whole 360. I don't know about yours.
Yeah.
But I see now more and more and more of Kamala Harris than I ever do of Donald Trump at the moment. But it's probably an algorithm that we hit because we're looking into that field. I get it. But it's very clever. And how I see it is that I don't think this was actually done by accident. The more I look upon it, the more I feel that the Democratic Party have played one hell of a funny game. And it almost was like, we're going to take President Biden and make him look as stupid as physically possible. And then the final possible moment, we're going to switch him out.
Mm.
You know, and
that's pretty obvious, isn't it?
But I don't quite know at the moment if it's worked in their favour. As much as last week, I would have said, last week, go out and put your whole life's earnings on Donald Trump getting in. This week, I would say, if you'd done that, I would worry.
Yeah.
Because I don't quite...
I don't know. Personally, I think it is all just one big propaganda campaign at the moment. It's so fresh off the bat. They're throwing I just think they've peaked a bit too soon. You know, I think they've thrown everything at it. And, I'm seeing more and more with old Kennedy. And I really like him. I think he'd be great. But as it stands, I still think Trump's going to get it.
I think that's where the Democratic Party could have ballsed up.
Mm.
They really, they could have invited him in to lead. And
yeah, but then he's got to still follow. It's like ours, isn't it? You know, don't vote for the person, vote for their manifesto. And it's a similar thing there, isn't it? You know, he's come away from the Democratic Party because he don't like what they stand for.
Yeah, but if they lead him in that, if he leads them in that and says, look, I'll take that on, I'll take your party on, but it's my rules. Take it or leave it.
They wouldn't have it. I don't think they'd have it.
But
no one they put forward, they're going to want calling the shots. They call the shots. They just put the puppet forward to they pull the strings. That's the voice.
If that's all that says to me in that case is that if that's the case, they are very happy to see it for the next 4 years.
Mm.
If they're not prepared to fight Trump with a possibility of someone that could definitely outpoll him because of just how he comes across is very correct. If he was the leader of the UK government, you would put your hands up and say, you know what? I follow this man. Yeah. Because how he works is he gives you one thing So he tickles mine and your brushes because he doesn't like the COVID vaccination and all that. So he's got our ears pricked up and think, what a good guy he is because we don't like it and he don't like it. And on the other hand, he goes, but we're going to keep all the Greenpeace lovers happy because I believe in Greenbelt. I don't want to be building on our green lands. I don't want this. And you're thinking, you know what? He's got both party people, conspiracy theorists, and the younger generations, what we would call woke, eating out of his hands.
Yeah.
And that is where I think that is why the Democratic Party have got a longer term goal than this short term. I think they're happy to lose this and just wing it for the next 4 years. The powers to be, because they know it's only 4 years.
It's still a dangerous game to play because if in 4 years' time the country is just doing so well, you know, and there'll obviously be another nominee for the time when it comes to the end of his running that might say I'm carrying on from what Trump has done, then that's a big risk to say, well, look where we was 4 years ago, look where we are now. Do you want to go back to where we was?
I don't think he will get the backing as much as what people think this time around.
It all depends on the effect of his decisions, doesn't it?
Yeah. But we know that obviously Congress write more of the decisions and he can put his seals in, but it's Congress at the end of the day that will make the decisions on what they want. That's the only problem that he has, isn't it? You know, yeah. So we say it's going to be a long. I'm sure this has got more twists and turns in it.
I'm looking forward to it, mate, because it is just a circuit at the moment.
It is. It's going to be great TV. As Mickey says, I feel they will try and poison Trump when it comes to some fatal illness. They wouldn't want Kennedy's got too much to hide.
He's got too much to release.
Yeah. With this one, I do think they're laying the seed for this already, because I can't. It's all I can't. I don't know the kid's second name, but it's Harry. Harry.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Is it something like Sissons or something? Harry Sissons?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Right, and he is the most annoying person on TikTok. Right? Sorry. Yeah. Oh. He is the most annoying person on TikTok. But I do think he has a lot of punch. I really do think he has a lot of punch when it comes to they will drop little things and he will run with it. And one thing that I picked up on, and I sent it to you the other day when he was talking about the Donald Trump freeze. And are we allowing this 79-year-old man to run for president? He's not mentally fit to run for president. But, Harry, you was backing an 81-year-old a week ago.
Yeah.
So don't play that game. But that's what I feel, this illness, I do feel like they're going to start this, procedure of something along these lines. That, even though we all know he's proper copper mentis or whatever they say, compared to Biden, even, we've gone all week thinking the bloke's dead. If you believe in TikTok, the bloke was been dead for a week, and not to say he is, we don't know. There's been no official word because obviously we had.
It's kind of how we left the show last week as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. We both said we don't want him to be killed off. We don't.
No.
I have no pleasure in, let the bloke die out his dying days. If he is terminally ill, you let him die naturally. We don't need him killed off because at the end of the day, he is a president of the United States of America, and he does need credit for that. At the 100%. End of the day. Even though I think he's stark raving mad, it doesn't mean I want to see him killed off by the deep state. That's not what I want. let him have his honour. But even to the point we've heard the so-called telephone call into Kamala Harris.
The way she nearly said recording. I know you're still on the recording. I thought it was brilliant.
And we had obviously every AI genius out there, making it look like it was AI. We don't know. It does sound a bit offish. I get it. But we'll never know. That's the fact, is we will never know when it comes to that. And then obviously we have this interview, or what would you address the nation of why he stepped down, a 10-minute long speech, which people once again have gone into on TikTok by looking at his watch. Have you seen that video yet? Was it you that sent
it? Very little about that.
Right. So his watch says the wrong time. So we know it's a pre-recording, things like that. So I would hope that it's actually him, and I wouldn't expect anything less than a pre-recording. We've just got an 81-year-old man that's come off of COVID. I wouldn't expect anything less. And as a conspiracy theorist, that doesn't ring any alarm bells to me. In fact, it actually makes more sense than anything that it can be rehearsed. It should be an address of correctness. It is addressing the people of how he feels. And I suppose that, who am I to sit here? As much as I've ripped the bloke throughout of time, I should think every president that sits in the Oval Office says the same thing. They love their country. They do it for the love of their country. Who am I to argue with that? And if that's, he's served his country, fine. He's a nut job, fine. But I wouldn't expect anything less. And it all made sense. Did I look at it and think, is it a different person? Yeah, to me, it looked like the Joe Biden that we knew. It didn't look like the one that either glitches or has that memory loss, or it looked, how long that took to record, who knows? But for me, it looked correct and it looked right. So I just hope he is alive and we do see him again, because we do need, up until November, we do need President Biden to make us smile. No matter what happens, he's a gift that gives. So please, guys, if you are listening, anyone from the Democratic Party of high power, don't make him resign early. Just let us have, our memories of Mr. Biden, of how he is, when he trips up the stairs, walks off to random places, salutes random people, reads the auto cue with pause, repeat the quote. Let's just have that, because we need that. All right, because that's why we love him. We know we don't love him into the fact because we like him, but we just love him because he's just your granddad of the America. Let's just say brilliant. That, shall we?
Yeah, well said.
But I do think, I know that Tina, a team member, has sort of been getting inklings of rumblings that something isn't quite right with the whole thing and how that sits. I did last night for the first time, that when I don't know quite where it come from and how it come about, but it doesn't seem right. The whole thing doesn't seem right. Can I even want to put my name out there to say that Trump won't get in? No, but yes. Do I want to say Kamala Harris gets in? My gut at the moment says yes more than anything, but I don't know why. I don't know why. And as I said to Paul this afternoon, the message that, or this, a spiritual message or whatever you want to call it, was say it doesn't go to vote. It does not go to vote. And then Paul, come back and he just put war. And I was been looking into that today. And if Mr. Biden declares war, which, that's very possible, that come November, Kamala Harris just gets in on natural causes, or he resigns and she just gets in and it stays. How that works legally, and I don't quite know. But is it something they would do? Well, of course it is. It's the deep state that have got this in the bag. So
don't forget, you got the interest of Ukraine and places like that. America's got great interest in Ukraine and places like that. So, and Trump's already said, on day one, I'll have this thing settled.
Yeah.
Well, the powers that be ain't going to want that.
No. And I'm not. I don't mean this to offend any American listeners or watchers. That as far as I've always been alive, you've always had some form of war of some form. So for me, it's been the Gulf. It was a long time in the Gulf. You've had the Cold War for many years with Russia, and it's all to do with funding, in my opinion. Yeah. These funds, they can get the money towards if they're in these wars, scenarios. But I just see it's that again. But I hope not. I hope we're wrong. I hope I'm sit there and I say, we come November and we get a full bloodied election. We get two candidates that stand there, or three candidates in the word. I really do hope that Kennedy can cause a mass upset. Really do.
I think, timelines are changing all the time. And I think the timeline, I think it was Kim from the team who said it the other day, that timeline's just changed. With the assassination attempt, that could have quite easily have been a completely different timeline, mate.
Yeah.
So, and again, is it the grace of God that made him turn his head just at the right point? Or is it, like I keep saying, collective manifestation? If enough people believe it and enough people want it, does that cause divine intervention?
But I also think that the video you put up the other day about the alien, the UFO or the UAP that was spotted, we're saying spotted, loosely spotted. It's there in the video, but I think we have to be careful of of all these AI sort of
exactly.
But what's to say that isn't? Can we categorically say what actually went on that day? No. Do we think it was odd what went on that day? Yes. Now, whatever you sit upon it, something wasn't right that day. Whatever it was, something wasn't right. And whatever side of the fence you sit on, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because we know it was wrong. And everyone can see that. We've had obviously the quickest ever hearing of whatever the Secret Service I've ever witnessed. The hearing within a week and public, even that's bizarre in my eyes.
To me, that was just, she was the fall guy on that.
Yeah, something, but I just think the whole thing was bizarre.
Yeah. Take people's eyes off of looking elsewhere. This is the reason why. This is the problem. Let's squash it, and nah. Yeah, don't buy it.
It was. I say she's definitely a fall guy for it all, and probably been paid millions. I just don't see why it should have been live, because it was broadcast live. I don't see why. Yes, I get it recorded. I get it all, and I get it, but I don't think that should have happened. It wouldn't have happened anywhere else. I don't think that would have happened anywhere else. It was just so bizarre, and it was just come out of nowhere. again, it was over my TikTok without sort of any pre-warning. It was, I check Sky News pretty much most days. I like to check all the news channels to see if they all tally up and if they've got any random, like sometimes I send some to you and you think, you know what, go a year ago, this wouldn't have been on Sky News.
Yeah.
Not even that. It wasn't even like a headline to say that the hearings, the inquest into the assassination is being happening today. All of a sudden, we've got video clips of people berating her. I think that was a bit, see, it was all wrong. I get what they were saying. I get that what they were saying. Why answer the question? And she wasn't answering. She weren't answering the bloody question because she don't know the answer that they want her to say. So leave it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some of it was so basic, it was just complete. No, don't know. I have to get back to you on that. Really?
But I also
should have had all that information within an hour. But
I don't think she could hide the fact. As you say, she was a fool guy. She was probably absolutely sitting there shitting her bricks. Do you know what I mean? Because she didn't know what's going to happen to her.
Oh, she looked petrified. She did look petrified, didn't she? She held it together well, I thought, because everyone was just absolutely pounding at her. Yeah. And I think I would have just sat there and sobbed. You're picking on me.
Yeah. At the end of the day, what more could she say? It happened. We were wrong. Like she said, it was our fault. What more do you want to hear? The likes of me or you would say, well, who gave the order? Who did it? Did it come from Donald Trump's camp or did it come from Biden's camp? Just tell us that. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows? Mickey said, I'm a Trump supporter, but like you, Russ, I can't see Trump getting in. There's just something not telling me what. He won't. I don't think he's. I just don't think. I think he's going to be alive. I don't think they're going to pop him off now. I don't think they're going to pop him off. For the sheer fact that would be too goddamn obvious. Now, I think they've missed that.
I just think you can't throw anything else at the man, surely. They must be realising now. I think we need to take a step back here because we can't do anything else to this man to try and stop him.
No, I think you're right. But the way they can do it is by doing it like they did it last time, sneakily, hidden, throwing the votes. I think that's where they've got to go now because I don't think they can pop him off because if he was to die between now and the election, it'd be civil war, mate. It'd be glaringly obvious, though.
Yeah,
it's so obvious what has happened. Do you know? It's not even. I'd have to sit there and say, "Yeah, it's the Democrat," and I won't say the particular in the president or the candidates because I don't think it is. It'd be the party, the head of the parties. Republican, Democrats, whoever that, the major funding things. Yeah, look, we're going to lose. We don't want him in power. Powers to be, pop him off. I think that becomes now glaringly obvious if that happens.
Yeah, with you there.
So if it's gonna be done, it's gonna be done with such skullduggery and glaringly obvious vote fixing. Somewhere along the line, or some other scandal will come up that he just has to walk away from it. The hearing was bizarre, and yes, she was a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get off that. We've done 40 minutes, more than we wanted to. We've done it, but we've updated it on everything that come on this week. But it's what we'll do is I'll lead on to sort of what is Paul said he had a dream the other night and it was very bizarre. And I was quite shocked when he actually started to come out with it, because there were certain bits of his dream that I had around about the 12th of July. I know that for a fact because it was my partner's birthday. And it was very, very similar in certain aspects. And I'll say my dream, Paul. Okay,
Yeah.
it happened first, and you go on to your dream. It's a slight difference. So I went away for the weekend. I stayed up in a little hotel in Woodbridge in Suffolk, and we stayed in a very nice hotel. It was very oldie worldy, and I stayed on where I slept. I slept on the side of where the window was, and I remember going to sleep, but I remember waking up in the morning. Well, I believe I woke up. I believe I woke up in the morning, and I remember looking at the window, quite clearly looking at the window. And I remember closing my eyes and opening them again. You know, like when you try and focus, like readjust.
Yeah. Am I seeing that?
Yeah. And is all I can describe to you, it was Lego bricks. It was Lego bricked around the window. And I can actually now, Paul, give you the colour of what I was looking at. That was the colour.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the shape. Okay. And I remember looking, and I got into a panic because I couldn't find more to finish the window. But they were in my hand. And I'm thinking, this is absolutely crazy. This is crazy. This dream is crazy. And then I can only suggest that I went back to sleep, and I turned over. I remember it. And I turned back again, thinking I went to sleep. I reopened my eyes. It was morning, early morning, and about, I'd say it could have been anything from sunrise to so when I got up around about 8 o'clock. And it was that light. It was light. I could see light. And I turned back over, looked at the window again, expecting to see just the normal wall. It wasn't. It was the Legoed bricked wall again. But this time, it had more bricks on it. It was higher. But I couldn't see above it. But all I can remember is I even think I said to my partner, I went, Christina, have you got the Lego bricks? I remember asking for more bricks to try and finish. I can't remember even if she answered me. But it was all about finishing this wall, the bricked wall. So I didn't think too much of it. I didn't. It's a dream. Until you messaged the other day with your dream. And you go with your dream.
Yeah. This was, what night was it? Monday night? Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday night this week. So I was at sort of a family gathering. I was outside with my nieces and nephews, and there was like a little doll house. I don't think it was a Lego doll house, but it was just like a little doll's house sort of thing. And I was picking it up, having a look at it, and I don't know what happened, but sort of there was a circle in the centre of the underneath of it, and that's where my hand was when I was holding it. And I don't know if I pushed something on the house or what, but anyway, this thing opened up and a load of little bits fell into my hand. So I've pulled my hand away and I've looked at it, and it was like a load of little miniature Lego bits. So not like your small Lego bits, but like miniature Lego bits. So really tiny. If I was to try and put them together, I'd need like a magnifying glass and a tweezers. That sort. They were small, but they were definitely like Lego bits. I was thinking, oh no, what the hell am I meant to do? So I've tried to put them back in the house. And as I'm trying to fiddle and fumble about trying to get them back in the house, next thing I know, I'm in the house. Only it was a house, a big house. I hadn't shrunk down. I was in the house. And like I said to you, the only way I could describe it, it was a bit like the Winchester Mansion. Not all oldie-weldy and everything like that. It was quite a modern house. But the way I say it was like the Winchester Mansion. It was like you had staircases going up to nowhere and doors that wouldn't open. And it was a very maze-like. And all I could think about is getting back to the centre of the house so I can put these bits back. And I could see where I needed to get to. And no matter what path, I mean, I was crawling through little corridors, like, you know, I was going all around the place, and I just, no matter how hard I tried, I could not get back to the centre. And every little place I tried, I was getting that little bit closer, but I just didn't make it. And then I woke up, and I woke up annoyed because I didn't get these bits back to where they needed to be. And you know, sometimes you sort of wake up from a dream and you can go back into that dream. Well, that's what I tried. I think I tried too hard, and that's what I tried to do. I wasn't angry, but I was annoyed. I couldn't finish. So, you know, I'll try and get back to sleep quick and get back in that dream before it goes out of my mind. And when first of all, when I woke up in the morning, I thought, God, that was a bizarre dream. And it weren't till a bit later on in the morning, I couldn't get it out of my head. And I've always been, you know, if you can remember a dream quite strong and vividly, then it means something. So that's when I put it out to the group. You know, I know a few of the guys like to analyse dreams, and they know what sort of certain dreams mean. So yeah, that's why I threw that out. And the strange thing is, the following night, I had another strange dream. It was nothing to do with the Lego and that, but yeah, that was just as bizarre. And it felt very real as well. Very real.
I can safely say mine was 100% real. That's how it felt. I couldn't tell you now.
Yeah, but for you, it was more like you had to question whether you was awake or not, because you was still in the same place where you was in reality to dream, where it was a bit different for me.
It was so real. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's how real this was to me. I couldn't distinguish if I was awake or I wasn't awake. That's, you know, I can't even, you know, Paul, at one point in my dream, I want to say I even got up and went to the toilet and still saw the bricks. But I can't be 100% sure. I couldn't tell you if I was dreaming I went to the toilet or I actually went to the toilet. But it was so real. But you know, like, how can I put it in a way? You know, you see the free, you know, they put them VR things on.
Yeah.
And you see that they move their head and everything, the screen moves with it.
Yeah.
That's how that's felt to me.
Right.
So I looked at the bricks, and I think if I looked so in context, I looked there, and there was the window, and I looked up, and there was the window. It almost felt like if I turned that way, the window and the bricks would be there with me as well.
Oh, right.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
It felt very, I can only say like virtual reality sort of stuff that I couldn't, and that's what was freaking me out. I couldn't lose the looking for the bricks. It whatever was being, I say, how many times, you know, we talk about dreams are being told. There's things within the dreams that we must look at and analyze. That's why you've done it. It was almost like I couldn't lose where we was or what we was doing. That was the important bit. it was weird because I wished I could have told you if I was asleep or awake. I must have been asleep because of obviously I wouldn't have seen it, but we do know that we can get that. I'm going to turn my phone off because I think it's going to ring any minute now. It's just got that funny, when you think that phone's going to ring, go. But I can't be 100% sure. I can't. Really, really can't. And that's what is freaking me out about it all.
Just out of curiosity, this is just counting me because you've just done that your Ghostbusters house out of Lego, haven't you?
Yeah.
Was that before or after that?
It's mid. It would have been mid. It's mid. I haven't finished it. I have started it. So subconsciously, yes. Yeah. Subconsciously, I get it. It did cross my mind. It has crossed my mind. But I just can't figure it out.
Yeah. For how really it felt as well. And yeah.
And that's it. That is how. But it was so randomly odd. And the more I sort of analyze this, I know that we've looked at we looked at the color of the bricks, didn't we, Kim?
Yeah.
What were the color of the bricks? Neutral colors. So Kim has put the colors of bricks: insecurity, unstable, needing change. Paul, someone is feeling insecure. You put, I'm skipping through that. Cream is purity and peace, and openness. This is a falling brick. The pieces were in my hand. You have the power to create and construct what you're looking for. So, and that's what was going along my mind with this. It almost feels, like what Mickey has just, hold on. Are either of you thinking of moving and getting a new property?
No.
No, not at the moment. That's Sandra. So, but, and get it because it's moving, bricks. But it was this one, the one, this here. If we take this set, there is something not telling me he won't. Now, this feels like, to me, that we are placing things together. We are putting bricks together. We are building something together. When we talk about our shows and when we talk about here, we've never sat here and lie and say this is gospel truth. This is we can't got no antidote. We can't go and prove it 100% that what we talk about on this show is 100% real. We can't.
No.
But is what that dream was suggesting to me is that, and I couldn't let it get out of my mind, and that's why it was so bizarre that we're both having that same inkling of a dream. That, are we building the right story here? Are we going down the right pathways here? The more we brick up, the more we put these pieces together, the bigger picture is revealed, isn't it? You think that we start with Lego. It starts in a pack, thousands of pieces. And at the end of that thousands of pieces, you have something structural, a very professional structure. Now, is this linking to what we are being told by the powers to be of our spiritual guides, intention, this manifesting the truth, this manifesting the belief system? Is that, are we building what we are saying at one point, that there's certain things on this show that we say, isn't it? Like, you know, last week we categorically said that we know that President Biden will be out by the weekend. I would say I was 99.9% sure that was going to happen. But most of the stuff on our show is we're looking at other people's theories and we're putting it to our own theory, our own mindset. But we couldn't sit there, and I couldn't sit there and say to you, that's 100% going to happen. I have a feeling it might happen. But this almost feels like this brick building, this building that we are putting up or designing. We could almost turn around and maybe in a year's time and say, look back at that show and we told you exactly what was going to go on. Now do you believe us?
Yeah. That's kind of interesting, that, because as you're saying that, you've put that in my head now. Like, I've got all the pieces of the puzzle, I just can't quite get them to into the right place. You know,
but the whole thing is like that. The whole world is like that at the moment. You know, it could be our guides, our loved ones, our alien ancestors saying, look, you've got the pieces, be patient. Be patient. Just be patient, because you are slowly putting this together. I know that, you know, when we dream, we get that feeling that it has to, you know, human intuition. Whatever happens has to be done, has to be done, has to be done. We need to know the answer. We need to know it there and then and now. It's never the case for anything. Do you know what I mean? It's never the case for anything. You go to the doctors. How many times you go to the doctors and say, we'll have to send you for a blood test? These are the people that we trust in, still don't know that they've got to have some backup somewhere along the line to prove what they are saying is right. We are human, a human brain. So our dreams will be, I want to know what the ending of that dream was. Why was I dreaming? You know, both of our dreams were consisting of Lego bricks with half-built pieces. We had some of it built. I was looking for pieces. You had them in your hand.
I got the pieces of the puzzle. I just couldn't get them to the right place, mate. Yeah.
But I suppose mine, I was looking, but they was in my hand. Yes. So, do you know what I'm saying? In my brain, in my dream, I was like, I'm looking for them pieces, but they was in my hand. So, you know, it's just very bizarre. And it feels...
So that's just thrown me out again with the other dream I had when you're saying about the hand. Because I was bitten by the dog on my hand and it pinned me down. So I'll just quickly brush on this one, Russ. It was only, I mean, it was a long dream when I was having it, but I can quite easily get through this.
No, go for this. No, the better, the more depth. Go for it.
Right. So I think it was the following night, wasn't it? I messaged you in the morning and I just said, I got bit by a dog in my dream last night. But it started, so it was just me and my wife. We was walking outside, nice green. I think the sun was just starting to set. It was still light out. So having a nice evening stroll. And there was like a little, not a market stall, but one of them sort of carriages that sell all sweets and that. Just set up, just outside by a little paved area by a park and that, selling like pick a mix. And I love a sweet. I've got a right sweet tooth. So I said to the wife, come on, we'll go and I'll get some pick a mix. So I said, I'll tell you what, get 3 bags, please, love. I'll get one for each of my kids. So I started off sugar laces. I said, a couple of sugar laces in all 3 bags, yeah. And she went to weigh them up. And she went, oh, that's £10 already. I went, excuse me? She said, that's £10 already. I said, you know what? Forget about that. I'm not a couple of sugar laces. No, thank you. And we turned around, walked away, went into a pub, which was just on the other side of the concrete. We starts walking through the pub. and this Rottweiler just come up to me. It was a bit, I thought, oh no, here we go. So I thought I went put my hand down to stroke it. And as I put my hand down, it just lockjawed onto my hand, straight through the centre of my hand. And I didn't even try to wrestle. It was that strong. It just sort of put me down on my knee. But as it's come down, I've managed to put my hand on the back of its neck, and I held it in place. And people were watching me, and I could see the blood just pouring out of my hand. And people were watching me, and I'm like, "What? Whose dog is this? Like, you know what I mean? What?"
Yeah.
And I shouted out, "Come and get your effing dog!" Anyway, this fella comes walking up, and people were shouting at him, "What's the matter? Control your dog. Get your dog." And I can see this man's face, and I know this person. I recognised him, but I don't know who he is. I can't. But anyway, he come up, and before the dog even released, I woke up. But that bothered me as well. The fact that I knew who this person was, but I don't know who he is. If that makes sense. I recognised him. I knew him, but I don't know who he is. Does that make sense? But again, it's my hand.
Right.
And it's actually a different hand that I was holding the Lego in.
So if I'm putting this dream, so I write it down as you was reading it, okay? That we've linking it to your other dream. Okay, say say if we are going along the right lines of your previous dream, you've got all the pieces.
Yeah.
You've got it in there, right? So you saw the pick and mix.
Yeah.
You got a sweet tooth. So everything that you like to do, when you went in there and you got your strawberry laces, yeah, but it was too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you love strawberry laces. So I wrote down here, the truth comes at a cost.
Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it?
I literally, that's what I wrote down. I wrote it down. Truth comes at a cost. Not to say, but I'm thinking, I'm going along the lines of like, so for me, I'd love to have analysing the dream. You pay the tenner, you get your strawberry laces, you get the truth, but you don't get bit by the dog. You've now regretted, you've turned around and gone no to something. So maybe the strawberry laces is a truth, something that you're on the right tail with, but you don't exactly know. Do you get what I'm saying? It's something that you're not trusting yourself with.
Or I'm not prepared to do that certain thing to get the truth. I'm not prepared to pay that money.
Yeah. But not to say, it's only fictitious, like, there may be no money involved, but then you've turned around because you haven't believed in what that truth is, that you're going to get the consequence, you're going to get the bite. And there's that bloke that you can't see. You can't see this bloke, but you know there's that person around. You don't know who it is.
I recognised him. I knew him. But now I don't know who it is.
And then if we look at that, is that the bloke there that is potentially guiding you through your conspiracy theory path, the one that you may have to tap into, and he's the one that's saying, look, I told you so. Told you so. And this is where you sort of, if we could analyze every part of your dream and go back there and watch the dream as a movie. So you can watch that dream of actually what went on in your brain. I could probably guarantee you the bloke there was somewhere in that sweet shop. Even if it wasn't the person serving you.
No, it was a female.
So that person, I would swear to you, if you looked back and you could remember your every part of watch the dream, like you're watching me on this screen, that person would be there. And that's just how my brain works.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
That's exactly how my brain works on that. I think the dreams link. Your two dreams link. Very, but you're right in what you're saying. The dreams are so heightened at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what? Because I keep a dream journal, and I started it when either just before or during we started the Psychic Circle. And if I can remember a dream by I'd always write it down. If I can remember it when I got to work, I'd write it down when I got to work. And because if I don't remember it by then, I'll think to myself, well, then it's not worth remembering.
Yeah.
And I haven't wrote in it for ages. I haven't had a vivid dream like that for a long, long time. And I've had two, one night after the other, this week. Very bizarre.
So I can't say. I can only remember really that dream. That's been so vivid because it was so bizarre. So bizarre. I don't think I can't remember if it backs it up. The following night, can't remember dreaming again. I can't remember the dream. Obviously, I dreamed, but I can't remember the dream. And I must admit, I can't say I've remembered dreams since then. Just the bricks that I'm looking for, which is interesting.
Yeah,
it's
strange.
really interesting. Which is really, really interesting. Is there anyone listening in the chat, guys? I know we've got a couple of people watching in the chat. What's your take on it? Have you been dreaming recently? Have your dreams been really heightened? Have they been in depth? Are you remembering them more? Is this going along what Paul said at the beginning of the show here? Things are odd at the moment. You know, this lethargic feel that is around, you know, us feeling lethargic, us feeling like that would make us go into a deeper state of mind, us feeling more tired. But you said you haven't slept well.
No, and I've said it before, you know, the wife gets frustrated with me because my head hits that pillar, boom, I'm out, I'm gone. And I wake up in the morning. But this week, I've struggled to sleep. Tossing and turning all right, waking up. It's very, very not like me.
But if we looked at that again, we could put the heat into that. We could put heat into
it's
that.
not as hot this week as what it was the other week, and I didn't have no trouble sleeping then. So I get what you're saying. I mean, one night I did wake up absolutely dripping in sweat, but I blame the wife for that because I went to bed with the cover. She got cold in the night and pulled the duvet up, and it went up over me as well. So I woke up absolutely dripping. Well, what the hell? So yeah, but other than that,
no, I do generally. I must admit, I've woke up more throughout the night. I've woke up from a Sunday night was a weird night. No, it wasn't. Monday night was a weird night. Tuesday night was all right. When last night was a weird night because it was on and off, on and off. But it almost feels like, I don't know about you, but I sort of wake up, open my eyes in the morning, and I think, oh my God, what's going on? I've got to get up in a minute. And I go, Alexa, what's the time? And everyone's going off now. And it goes, the time is 4:07 p.m. and it looks bright outside. It's not dark.
PM or AM, you mean?
AM, sorry, AM.
Yeah.
Well, it goes 5:01, and I'm like, I look at the window, like in the bathroom, because like, I shut the bathroom, my bedroom. I'm sort of in the dark, but you can sort of see the crack of light through the doors, and you think, my God, that's bright for this time of the morning. It's like crazy.
That's the time I get up, 5:01,
and it's bright.
It usually is. It was a bit overcast this morning. I think I even had to put the light on in the kitchen this morning, but
might be gearing up. It might be gearing you up for big things to come in August. I believe August is going to be a eye opener.
Yeah,
Do I,
I'm getting that a lot. A lot of people this August was meant to be this year is meant to be the year, but August keeps coming up.
what do you think? What do you believe it, Mickey? What do you think? If you got, if you had to put you on the actual chopping block here, what do you think's gonna, what we sort of in for? Is it going to be only something that sort of spiritual people may feel, or the people, or do you think it's going to be a more of a world vibration or something like that? Are we going to physically see it? Are we going to or is it just going to be sort of like one of them sort of change of vibrations? Because I think you sent me the other day, Paul, didn't you, with all the sort of random things going on around the globe with the explosions on.
Yeah, they're chopping up all over the place. Italy, Yellowstone.
Well, if Yellowstone goes, we're all in shit, aren't we?
Well, this is it.
Yeah,
they reckon if that goes off, the world temperature will drop by about, providing we're still about, the world temperature will drop by about 10 degrees for 10 years.
Welcome to the UK.
Yeah.
Mick, I believe more things are going to be revealed on a world level.
Yeah, I'm getting that, Mickey. I do. I keep banging on about collective manifestation. More and more people are waking up. More and more people are seeing governments for what they are, seeing that we've been lied to pretty much our whole life. And I don't know if it's going to happen as soon as this year, August, but yeah, I think it's going to get a lot worse before it starts getting better.
I say it's, they're ramping things up. They're ramping things up. I think this, as we've spoke about the new world order in the past, this one world government, this one world thing, that seems to be even more prevalent that I've ever seen over the last couple of months than I've ever seen before. So yeah, I don't quite know. I don't know where my gut feels on it at the moment. I suppose that's why my bricks are different to your bricks, Paul. Potentially.
Yeah, well, we've always kind of had a bit of a debate about that, haven't we? And I think I do believe that things are going to get a hell of a lot worse before they start getting better. But again, it is like you've got to. Truth comes at a cost, like you said to me, Russ. So, but you've got to be prepared to. If you know there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, you just got to be prepared to live through it, fight through it, work through it.
That's the word, Russ. They're ramping it up. We are in a spiritual warfare. Good
for evil, I think, yeah. So be good.
Satan v God. I do get that. I do get it. You see it more and more and more and more and more and more all the time at this present time. And that's the sad thing. The thing I think it's going to affect more is the people not like us. I don't mean that in a blasé way, but people like myself, you, Mickey, people who watch this show, that we're prepared. We're prepared for this. We are prepared, let's not.
I don't know if we're prepared, but it ain't going to come as a surprise.
Yes, yeah, that's what. But that in my eyes, that's like preparation. Our spiritual guides or our loved ones, our journeymen, whatever you want to call them, are showing us little things, are guiding us through little things. I genuinely believe in a way that there's certain people within this world at the moment are also seeing things for the difference and understanding. And it's, it's not necessarily going to make it hard hitting for people. There's definitely people that's going to hit hard, but there's definitely people out there that will never see it. that makes sense. But I use my nan for example. You know, my nan's in her 80s. She listens to this show every week without fail, and she asks questions. She still asks questions and still questions everything today. And some things she doesn't get, but there's some things now that she understands and actually fits.
Mm.
And we're talking about the older generation that are fitting that. You know, not to say we're making a massive difference. You know, we broadcast to, you know, probably a few thousand people around the world on Pulse Talk Radio, and a couple of hundred people over the course of a week on our Facebook and our YouTube together. But I do feel that there is a twist of energy. There is a twist of what you're saying to what I'm saying, of people are seeing things differently.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they are taking that. That was going to be my only fear, is how they take that and how they run with their questioning rather than how we run with our questioning. That's you know, the difference. I see it.
Yeah.
You know, light will prevail, but in what sense will light prevail? That's my concern. Me and Paul sit both sides of the fence of this. I sit one side, Paul sits the other side. It's quite simple. We've never argued the fact. Paul sits on the side of that we will overcome. I sit on the side that whatever's happening in today's society is being done for a reason, and I don't think it's any good for us what they're doing. Hold on.
No, I don't either, but I don't think they're going to win.
No, that's what I'm saying. The book of Daniel in the Bible is worth a read, and do a study on YouTube, as it's difficult to understand without guidance. But the prophecy in it leading up to now is mesmerizing. I'd love to be able to sit there and read the Bible. I would. I really would. But my brain just wouldn't go out to comprehend it. I know it links.
That's why I think that's why he said that about, you know, guidance and that. So I know someone, I used to work with a fella, he was a Jehovah's Witness, he did Bible study, and he used to explain to me like the different ways of interpreting the Bible, and I probably got this wrong, but sometimes you'll need to sort of read that book or verse or that book to understand that book. But then if you read that book with that relates to that verse, it can mean something different. And I was like, I don't know, where would you start? You can't, but the Bible's not a book you can just pick up and read from front to back and think, wow, that was amazing. I've got it, I know everything. It's got like a codex to it, I think, you know. And
well, there must be a reasoning that Mickey has put that comment, because today, randomly, I don't know why today, I couldn't say why I picked today, I don't know, but we have my nan has been issued with the RNIBI package of Audible books for the Royal Institution of the Blind, and the first book that we've put on there for her is the Bible. So my nan's a bit, you know, my nan's read the Bible over and over again. She knows verses, she knows Psalms and everything like that. And she will be listening tonight when she goes, you know, when she goes to bed, she'll put, you know, yeah, Alexa, and listen to the Bible, because that's what she can do now with the new audio books on there. So it's very weird that obviously Mickey has put that, and we've done that today, and that was it's about a new world order, lots more, short book but very good. What the Bible is, or just that verse? I'm assuming it's just that, the book of Daniel in the Bible.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's short, right? Got you. But yeah, and that's why I was just, at the beginning of the show, I said to Paul, it said there was a certain word that the opening, when I was setting up the Alexa and listening to the first opening, so it was the book of Genesis, chapter 1. It starts from the beginning. I'm assuming that's the beginning of how the Bible works. And it was
Genesis 1:1 is the first verse of the first chapter in the book of Genesis in the Bible that forms the opening of the Genesis creation narrative.
Alexa, stop. 66 books of the Bible. They're not exactly in order either.
No.
But it opened up with certain words, and one of the words that was used in the words, I don't quite know what the opening saying was, but it said something along the lines of the firmament and heaven. And that just got me thinking, because we've used the word firmament within conspiracy theories throughout time on this show.
And when you said that word to me, I said, "Are we going back down the flat Earth?"
Yeah,
route?
not
because Mickey, I'm sure Mickey would agree with me on this one.
So
the water's below and the water's above. Sorry, Russ.
Okay, but maybe we'll look into that more next week. Okay, maybe we'll use that for next week's explanation of, because we're coming towards the end of the show, and I think it was just weird how the word it just and I said when I set up probably around about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then since then that word has just been on my mind, on my mind. Now, flat Earth, round Earth, globe, however you want to look at it, we live on something. How it produces, I don't quite know. Firmament, we look at the glass house, the ice wall, or heaven, or however we want to see it. Maybe we'll do a bit of digging into that for next week's show. Yeah,
I think I might even have a little read of this this verse or book of Daniel. See, because there's obviously a reason that's been brought up tonight, so I might even try and get a little read of that and see if I can make any sense of that.
Okay, I'll leave that bit to you, because it'll blow my mind, and I'll be like in a little school kid in the corner rocking because I don't understand it. But no, thank you for everyone that's joined us tonight on Pulse Talk Radio, Facebook and YouTube. I hope you've had a good show with us. Thank you for all your comments and joining in, listening to our dreams and listening to us to rant at the beginning of the show. So we really do appreciate it. We will be back next week. It will be, I do believe it'll be our last show for 2 weeks next week. I think because we're both on holiday. So we'll be having a 2-week recess next week. Holiday stuff. I'll be on holiday for 1. Paul will be on holiday for the 2nd. Then we'll be back sometime around about what would it be? I'm away for the 8th. You'll be away for the following the 16th. So it'll be around about the 20th. We'll be back after that. But we'll give all them dates out next week. But we'll definitely be on the air next week, guys, for the sort of end of season roundup and ready to go for 2 weeks' time after that, because we're going on holiday to refresh ourselves and look at the stars and make ourselves wound up even more at the conspiracy theories from around the world. But thank you ever so much for everyone that's joined us tonight. Really appreciate it. Thank you to my wonderful co-host Paul as well. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for everyone that's joined us over on Facebook. Take care, guys. Stay safe and keep it paranormal, everybody. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for all your interaction.